Good morning. Good morning. Or good evening. Or good afternoon, wherever you are. Alright, so it's another day. It's the second day this week. And a infinite number of coffees later. We're back. Right, so what have we done? Yesterday we focused on sprinting. So that means our character now is able to sprint, which is fun. Never done that before. At least not through C++. Actually, I don't think I've done it, period. I've had the character run, but I only adjusted the movement speed so that the character will constantly run, rather than what we're doing right now, which is a toggle. That's not necessary. Okay, holding down shift will have the character sprint, and releasing will have it go back to walk speed. And I'm gonna go through that quickly later on in a sec. Just gonna have morning chat. What's worth? It's not a big, complicated setup, and I think I can do a quick summary in like 5 minutes. So what's the focus for today? I think it is the fog. It should be the fog. We'll see. I'm a bit distracted today. I keep getting muscle soreness. I think I'm out of shape. Yesterday, well, that doesn't count. Well, yesterday was leg day, which means my legs will not feel all too well tomorrow. Today is fine. Usually the day after usually is fine. It is the second day or the third day that tends to catch me and tell me, hey, now it's time. The consequences of your actions are here. But we'll see. Should be fine. No, what I'm sore right now is shoulder blades, or behind my back, like top, upper back. Went for a new exercise where we did some lat pulls. Previous I've done, they call what is lat pull? No, lat pull-ups. Not necessarily just calling them lat pull-ups, but they are just regular pull-ups. But now I went for the machine instead, which gave me some better isolation. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone is interested in my exploits at the gym, but it's fun. I want to tell you about something at least, because the rest of the week so far has been quite calm, a little relaxing. Nothing much has happened, and seems like it's going to continue that way. We'll see. I think that would be my morning report. Not much else to say. Oh right, yes, we should mention that. So I did mention it yesterday. Unfortunately, yesterday's stream was quite the scuff. We did have a lot of. I'm keep saying we. I do refer to myself. That's how I refer to myself, apparently. At least today. Sorry about that. So, focus. Yesterday, I had a setting unchecked in OBS for the audio, and actually for the desktop audio too, I think. No, that was correct. So what happened was then all my mic sound didn't go through. So all the input, spent the first 2 hours of the stream yapping, explaining, showing, talking. Well, it didn't come through. It was all silence. So here we are. Well, what the thing was, if you're interested in some behind the scenes stuff, and also if you're into OBS and streaming yourself, you might run into something similar, if you're, as me, beginner to this, do not, when you're streaming, uncheck track audio 1. Or either desktop audio or your mic. That is apparently really important, because that's what's messed my setup up. So, if you want to, and that the reason why I unchecked it was because I wanted the sound in a separate channel. And if that is what you want, this is what you should do according to my tests. So, bit of a disclaimer on this one. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. The only thing I can say for sure is that you need track 1 on both output and input checked. But if you do want, you can add in settings a few extra tracks. So I believe it's in streams audio. I should confirm it while I'm... No, it's in output. And in the section 4 called recording, might be audio depending on the version you're using. There's audio tracks. Have 3 of them checked, 1, 2, and 3. Then in your properties of, no, sorry, the advancing, I'm clicking the wrong one, accidentally muted myself. So in advanced audio properties, you can then select the tracks. Audio for both output and input should be 1, and the other one you can pick which one you want. I have 1, 2, and 3. 3 for the mic, 2 for audio, well, music, and 1 and 2, and both input and output on track 1. There you go. Bit of lesson learned yesterday. And you might notice there's a few other things. I'm not sure. My webcam is now properly widescreen. It had these ugly black borders before, and yeah, didn't like those. But now I can adjust it despite being a cheap webcam. So yeah, a few improvements. I also had some more lights. You can probably tell this side on my face. There's some lighting going on. Nothing too fancy, but it is something I'm trying to do for each stream, at least one every other, or at least either each stream or every other or every third, as often as I can. Add some improvements, and hopefully it's also improvements in my mic. As you can tell, if you've watched any of my VODs, anything I've done before, previously the mic, let's see if I can pick the right side. It is actually this side, it's just flipped the camera. The mic was on this side, in the corner, big distance away from me. Now it's just in front of me, so I moved everything to the front, which means I can't see my keyboard, which is probably going to be a problem. We'll deal with that. I do prefer better sound, so hopefully it is a better sound. Hopefully the experience will be more pleasant for everyone, including myself. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. And I think, yeah, I don't think of anything else that could be interesting for this morning coffee. I think I'm going to call it something like the morning coffee. Should have some cool, some fun at least. Seen in OBS for that. That could be something. Right, that was actually the last bit of coffee. I do have a bit more behind me. As you can tell, I do have a kitchen. A lot of stuff. Oh, yes, that's another thing. I am planning of getting a green screen. As lovely as my kitchen is, it's not really suited for a stream. I do think people will agree with me, even though they might not be as aware of the kitchen as I am. Each time I look to my side where I have my OBS, I see myself. You tend to do that. I look to myself and chat, of course. I see my kitchen. Kind of annoys me. So we're gonna fix that in the future, but that is a bit off, a bit of a time off. Sometime it's in the future. That's what it is. All right, let's get into this. Let's go to. I think we should start in Rider. I think, yeah. So what we're going for? This one, I believe. Yes, that's Rider, and that is me in the corner. Awesome. So I do want to go through this like quick summary before we start the main thing for today, which is we're going to animate. Yeah, well, we are going to animate. Hopefully we'll get to that. But also, mistakes. I also want to make sure we have the details dialed in for the material. So we're going to do some dynamic material stuff. Let's see if we can get that to work. I should be able to get that to work. Also, I do want to update the pipeline. I'll get into that in a bit. Well, I'll show you why. Right now it's a bit inefficient, not really productive, so I need to look into that. First of all, let's go through this before I wear off again. So, what I did yesterday is in my character, CPP, ignore the name, it's terrible. I added this section right here, this function, which is a move function. Oh, sorry, this one, my bad, this one, sprint. And what it does is that it checks this value that I'm getting from the character. And this setup, the base of this is Unreal's believe enhanced input system, and you can find a version of this with the, I believe it is third person character, a third person camera, third person something template that they do have in Unreal. So you just download a clean slate of third person view template scene project, I don't know, and you can find it there. It's a good place to start to look at. Then I added this, and the value is pretty much once you hold down shift, it's going to spike from 0 to 1 really fast. That's why it has an if statement telling, hey, look at the size of this vector. If it's greater than 0.01, then do this, which is a built-in function called get character movement. That then you would just, hey, look at my walk speed, make it my sprint speed, and the sprint speed is just a simple variable that I've made it possible to view inside the editor. That's pretty much it. It's a simple float. I did some googling, or rather I asked ChatGPT for a few values. These are just averages. I will likely adjust them as I see fit once we have more gameplay in. So, two simple floats, having them swap between depending on the size of my vector when I hold down shift. That is what I did inside. Well, there's a few more. I added a enhanced input, bind action input to this section, and those are really necessary for the enhanced system to work. If you want to add more to it, I guess like a jump, you would pretty much just copy this line, go with the enhanced input. You would then go with the bind action. In my case, if I want to do a jump, I would do a jump action like this. I don't have a jump action, so I need to create one, and you do that inside your header. Let's see, it should be here somewhere. Yeah, here you go. So it's an input action you create down here, or whatever it's mostly you want. I did it in private though, so you might want to do it in private. And that's it. If you just follow what it says, you'll likely get a example from your program to what it looks like. But you can tell I do have the interaction, I do have the move, so it's just keep repeating this while adding more to character class. It's a long-winded way of saying I did some stuff in C++ yesterday. Nothing too fancy. It might seem fancy for the first time. But it's not really, once you understand what's happening. Should I say once you understand a bit more than surface level understanding. Well, yeah, so once you have a bit more than surface level understanding, you'll see that it's not that bad. Right. And then we'll just quickly go into Unreal. And I'll show you that what you do need to do in Unreal. There are a few tutorials on YouTube for this too, so if you're interested in more details on my quick shallow explanation, I would suggest just look up Unreal Engine 5 enhanced movement input movements, I believe, something like that, character movements. So, but in essence, what you do, you create this mapping. Remember the input mapping context file, and in here you can add various key bindings. So for my movements, I have WSD connected. I'm also not doing anything because that's default from the programming side. But you can also invert the output. So if you have a positive 1 scale, which means forward, because you're adding this to the x-axis. I don't think am I doing that? No, so that, yeah, so that's just gonna move me forward. I'll do the opposite because I'm using negate, which means it just flips it. So now it's a negative. So when I hold down S, I'm gonna move backwards in X. And you would also have these input actions. So such as this A sprint. Where are you? Didn't I open it? Oh, it's right in front of me. Looks like this, looks very much the same. And you can tell I'm doing a 2D axis. That's what I had in. That's the value in C++ we were talking about earlier, which means I have an X and a Y axis. And I do believe there is something I might have to look at. No, it's default stuff. That is just moving. There are more detail, more things to go into. I would suggest go for a tutorial. I do not have either the time or the current knowledge, refreshed knowledge, to explain anything more than this. And the last thing you would do, this is all set up. Most of these things haven't explained why it's there, but it is through the C++ side. You'll get these things. So I can type in input. These are made in C++, but you have to assign your input action files. Well, that was one thing yesterday I was struggling with because I couldn't get my things to work. Nothing worked. So I was like, what the hell is happening? And that's because this one wasn't filled in. I haven't assigned anything. And therefore, yeah, makes sense that nothing's working, right? So now if I go into the world, I can walk, I can run, and it's decent. I like it. That was a hopefully, I'm gonna call it a short 5-minute explanation of what's happening. And now we're going to look at the fog. Right. So I think what we should focus on first is the feel. So we need the details. And hopefully today we'll also be able to do some animation. I want some panning of the fog. I have a shallow, again, I'm going to repeat that a lot today. I have a shallow understanding of how the panning works. Oh, that came through, didn't it? Sorry about that. I need to learn to mute myself while I cough. All right. I was talking about shallow understanding. I have a shallow understanding of how padding works. And that's moving my UVs based on time, right? But we're going to look at the master material. And what I'm doing right now is that I have these 3 volume textures, which is a noise texture converted into a 3D type. That's as good as my explanation will be, at least for what it is. I can show you quickly what it could look like, I guess. So they are often in Unreal default. You'll get these volume noise shapes, which are volume textures, and you can see what they look like. I think we could also go into 3D view, and you can see that we do have 3D noise. We are subtracting that, or rather we're multiplying these values on top of our these values right here, which are controlling the height, the in max height. Yeah, so these are controlling the height. These are controlling a small radius around the player that repels fog. Yes, I think we can kind of show you that too. I'm not sure if it will come through though. No, it's not really. Actually, it might be broken. Can't tell at all. Alright, let's try something else. Let's just do this. And now we're just gonna have fog everywhere. And if I do that. Oh. Alright, yes, it is not necessarily broken. I just turned it off. If we do this, go into the, oh, you were complaining about something. What's that? You needs to be connected. And now, there we go. Hello? Huh. Something isn't working as it should. Alright. Let's focus though. Oh, of course. There you go. It's very subtle. Oops. It's very subtle. So when I on checking when I deactivate by light source, I doubt this comes through at all. But there is a subtle repelling of the fog. So now, I believe, yes, now it's on, which you can kind of see near the camera or near the player. There's no fog, and further away you can see fog. If I toggle off, all of a sudden this bit more in front of you, not a lot. But we need to dial in the values. Maybe it's easier to tell from the top. Maybe not. Yeah, let's not get into this. It is working. We just need to dial it in. So we are going to go back again. This is fine. I think so. This is macro. This is intermediate, and this is the fine details. This is controlling height. I believe it is. I need to double check that it's actually working the way I want. These needs to be, want them to be over here. Multiplying with macro, micro, oh sorry, intermediate and fine. Color. That is the radius, height. Alright, I think we're fine. So next step. What? Let's see, we do have height. So let's try this. Want some way visualize it better. Let's do this. You can make everything really black, that's fine. Next, we'll add spotlight. And bear with me, I think this could work. Let's select pilot about. Just do it like that. Do I need to check something? I'm thinking, do I need to check the, like a volumetric something? Shadow, let's double this too. And we're going to bump you up. Try something like that. W, double, not this. Jump out of this. Okay. Back out. There you go. So there's something. But not exactly what I want. So this. Alright, so that's not really what I want. That's cut off. We're gonna look into that too. Now I am scattering quite a lot, I think it's scattering that does that. So if we tone this down, there we go. Okay, that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the micro detailing. Let's go with 5000 again. Just if we just want some, I think that could work. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying away from my volumetric points values, removing them, telling them, hey, you're now gone, here's 0, and those that are 1 from my noise will remain. I think this is great. So if I can, so decrease in power, it'll also decrease my black values in the white noise, and decreasing will do the other way around. All right. And what I want, this is pure thick fog. This is with the 5, so just removing some. 10. Let's go with the 10. And next, this is 5. Let's do this times 10. You didn't know you can do multiplication and other types of math inside your transform boxes, so that's nice. Now I have a finely detailed tiling on this noise, same noise though. Which again, we're going to look into that at some point. And I need to dial this in. Here we go. Don't want to remove too much fog, just add some detail. I think something like this. Just add a bit detail wise. I think the probably the animation will do a lot for us. And with that, I'm just gonna make this a more pleasing number. Nope, we don't want comma, we want dot. And then we have finer noise. Let's just bump this up, see what happens. So you can see here, it's really fine. And so instead of 25. Let's just do 1900, see what happens. Yep. It's a lot of subtle stuff. It could potentially add an offset to these things. The UVs, or the absolute positions, I guess. But I don't think that will make a big difference. Since we're doing tiling, I don't think you can tell where the same details are, because they are either way larger than the other or way smaller. Okay, let's see. So what if I could push the height way up, lower it? I'm not super fond of this perfectly, or at least seemingly perfect height thing. I would like to have like some kind of divots. Not sure if that's correct, but that's what I'd love to see. Could I potentially get that through noise patterns? No. Doesn't look like I can. Alright, forgot. I need to tell all 5 of you to game mode. I need to turn this filter off. The hidden. Then I want you to start from here. Okay. And that's what it's going to look like, because the current setup, and that's the efficiency, productivity thing I mentioned earlier. The fog is using a dynamic instance material. I'm not using that same material when I adjust these values. Can I somehow connect these two? Or should I just skip this? I'm using a material somewhere. It's on the cube. This cube. Is there like one of those? Is the dynamic material available to me? Likely not, because I'm created on gameplay, and I am calling it something like, nope, I don't. I'm not. DMI volumetric fog. Let's call it 01. Let's do a compile. I highly doubt that I have access to it. Yeah. Which means what? That I have to go back and forth between the materials instance and the dynamic instance. Yeah, I think so. At least that's the only... I can't think of anything else at the moment. Perhaps I'll get a some kind of inspiration after the stream or later on. I don't know. All right. At least I want to make it playable, which means I need to go to this part. These are now not working because they are not named correctly. So what we're going to do disconnect you. Actually, what we're going to do, did I turn that on off? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's go back to materials, fog instance. We keep you to the side. It's all for the sake of these names. Then, let's see. Let's go with macro noise tiling. So let's just copy you. Power. I do have value of fog height is 800. Let's keep it to 800. We're going to move you. Actually, we're going to do this just to keep it easier to find stuff, in the sense that it will be in specific order. So my noise will end up height, power and tiling. Then we need another one and another one. I'm going to connect these. Then soon I'm going to have to adjust this name to macro tiling. Nose tiling, sorry. Tiling. Value of that was 5,000, so let's keep it to 5. Alright, I need to compile first. 5,000. And copy these sections. Oh, that's the wrong one. Go to power. There we go. Power 22, no. 7 point, let's do 2.5. That's right, and then we need to go to immediate. Probably a bad name because it's way too long to spell. Over this macro. Need to create a new intermediate noise tiling. We're gonna make it float, and we're also gonna make it public. Let's add it underneath its counterparts. Then I need to move these straight away and do a compile. We're actually going to do another one. Noise power. Public. Move it up. Compile. The tiling noise was 2,500. The power according to my material is 3.75. And take the tiling, add it to this one. Power, add it to this one. Also considering if we should expose these names. We might, because later on, if we do decide that these would be animated, then it will be more efficient for me to expose these, because I would probably have to reuse that name multiple times. But right now, it's just in these places, so it doesn't really make sense for me to go in here and make a ton of clutter for nothing really. So I'm gonna keep it as is. Yes, next we're gonna make another float. This is the fine noise tiling, and I'm just gonna copy that, make another one, paste it in, but we're gonna make this one power again. These are gonna be public. What's going on? Come on, there you go. We're also, I do believe that if I add one of these symbols, which is this straight line, like that, and I should be able to do noise. There we go. Now what I want though is that, check, what does it look like? The editor. Let's do fine. No, not fine. Fog. God. No? Alright. And check this one. So there is one called... That's not what I wanted. I wanted it to be inside this. I can't do that? Alternatively, what if we do this? Let's go to you. What happens if I do this? Call it nothing. Then it's inside. Is it? Oh, it's just not named anything, but it is in the same fog category. Okay. It just doesn't have a name. That's good to know. So if I check all of these, I'm gonna throw it into this. I can only do one at a time. Awesome. Right? I can only do one at a time. Let's go. I'll accept that. Now we have a noise. They are not in order. Are they? No, they are. Awesome. Shouldn't I? So I'm trying to say is I should add these other ones to the same main fog category. Let's do that. What should we call you? Just max height. Let's just go with height. I don't know. This one though. This is going to be clear radius. Radius. Every now and then it's just a good thing to make these things. There we go. Yeah, I can live with that. But you want to probably sort these subcategories based on name. So that's not necessary in this case. What is necessary though is add the values to these ones. Alright, so we need men at the night one, yeah. And we need you. Go. Next would be to add some values to toiling. Let's do some toiling. No, we're not doing some toiling. 9.9. All right, so my expectations now are this. what I see in the editor, or in the viewport I should say, should be the same, or very roughly the same, because I did adjust a few values off. We're talking decimals or floats, so it's not really a big deal. So if I do play, we have, it's a bit more detailed, but it's close. You can tell I turned my clear radius off. It's on. So why it's more why it's thicker now is because it's close to me. And if I push it away, maybe the finer details are a bit too low, or too detailed. Not sure why they are not showing up in the viewport. Did it just save on processing or something like that? I don't know. What we are though, what we are doing is just expose these things. I don't have to do it through the blueprint. And I'm doing such a higher level of power on that one. If I do that instead. Save. Save. Then into this. That's the tiling? This is no fun. It's way above me. I'm not sure if I like that. I kind of want it to be... Kind of depends, doesn't it? If the player, let's say, is inside a pit, right? And that pit is, for example, 6 meters. Would that pit be filled with fog all the way up to 6? Fog doesn't have a global height. What am I talking about? What I mean is, there's not like there's something like, it's called the elevation of the sea, right? It's not like there's this surface level of the sea and then you have the pit that goes down. Now, I think that what fog does is that it follows the height of land it's floating above. If this is 0 and the land goes down to -10, then the fog will just follow along down to -10, right? It doesn't just continue in a straight line above it. And that makes no sense. But I'm also thinking, rather than adjusting the height, what if we instead grab this fog, and how tall is it again? It's a 10, so the fog should be around this part. What if we do this? What if, chat? What if? What here? Orange seems to get a very similar effect, so let's try lower it even more. Then I can see the top. Alright. That's not what we want. Dock you. Let's move you back. I think I need a better way to control the height. Yeah, I do. I don't like the super sharp cutoff. But how would I do it then? How would I? That's a question. That's a good question. Let's try and do some Googling. Try some Googling. I mean that. What do I look for though? We're talking about. I mean, we're talking about height, the height of the fog. That's fair enough, but I don't want it to be a sharp cutoff. Every 5. Fair enough. What do we need to know? See what happens. Because I'm not sure what I would. Okay, so what if? Can I do that? I'm thinking if I could create a gradient from the absolute position, because everything is based on of this one, right? And if I do mask, I'm only going to check out these values. If I push that into what then? I didn't tell what's happening. If I do it that way, alright, that's not really what I wanted. There is one node called object, I think it's object bound. Right, is it this one? Yeah, and then I do this. Hopefully it's not going to fill. I think it's doing what I want. Kinda. It just needs to be the other way around. No. It is inside. Somehow. Okay. Are we cooking? I think we might be. I think we might be cooking. Oh, dang it, how did I do that again? It is like that, right? So we're gonna do a 1. We're gonna do another subtract. Do that. Then it flips. Alright. Here's the thing though. Why is it halfway and not all the way up? What if... There's also this. That's... Extents. Hey, let's try this. That killed... Oops. Sorry about that. Did that kill it? Now let's try this. Okay, so that's the entire thing. And I do this. Nothing. What's the difference? What? If it's half the extent, but it's still filling the entire thing. That makes sense, Unreal. Because it's saying right here, half the extent with the depth and height, yeah. Of the object's bounding box in local space. It says half. But it's still filling the entire space. Because if I do this... Oh, okay. I'm not sure I'm following you anymore. I was getting some decent results by doing this. No. Still, I need you. Why? Can I see what you look like? I don't know. Yeah. So, two thoughts come to mind. And I'm not confident in either of them. What if we do some type of gradient on top of the either the noise what am I talking about? So what I do want, so I'm trying to figure out if it's going to look better by having a gradient from the fog being the densest near ground, then as it goes further up, dissipates more. What alternatives do we have? So that one flips. I use a curve, perhaps? No, I'm not thinking... Wait, can I... Here's a thought. No, this is a thought. If... Okay, just give me a second here. What I could do... This one gives me bounding box, I assume, coordinates, right? If I subtract the z values, not sure if that's going to work. Now I have, no, not that one. If I have the z values, which means that Are these local though? Oh no. How do I normalize these again? No, it has something to do with divide, doesn't it? I divide this with that. Yeah. Perhaps a clamp. Do it. Minimum height. Drag and max height. I think I'm doing something. I'm just gonna try this. Let's just clamp. This is not gonna be what I'm after, is it? No, why would it be? I'm thinking. So this one has a max, which is what if
open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds of
assume there's something called a normalize. There is. It requires a vector. Or if I do this, that. Well, something happened. It made it thinner, I think. Still not the effect I want. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, extract, fair enough. Gradient, yeah. Okay. Derp, that's fair. Yeah. That's really all I have to do. So moving the component Z, I mean that makes sense. We are already doing that. This makes sense to me. Well, it does make sense next step. If I do this, I feel like I'm staring at the solution. Let's assume these are between, I don't know, 100 and 200. 0 or 200. If I then I believe dividing is the solution to it. But dividing with what? What am I doing here? So I'm subtracting the min. Fair enough. Not sure why I have a min. That is then divided by max and divided by min. So second, oh, that's max. I subtract the max from this. Do I need to use the object? I need to do this instead. Like this. Then this. Have I created a gradient if I do this? I'm gonna say no. Exactly. Okay. A quarter of right. Killed all of it. Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere. Oh yeah, am I? I need a coffee refill. I'm gonna take, I believe, like 2 minutes tops break. Just let my voice rest too. I'll be back in a few seconds or a few minutes. I'm back. Cheers. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to make sure I haven't broken anything. It's always a possibility, isn't it? I'm going to say I haven't. Slowly going back. I need a post process. Okay. So let's see the math. I have world absolute position. And if I do this, I am sure that I'm within the boundaries of my box. So if I also do this, nothing should change. Well, I'm inside my box again. That almost killed my eyes. Right, you can see I'm inside the box. Actually, before we move on, just add a post process. Center, let's go unbound. Then I want the exposure. Make it basic. Min levels, let's just make it not 0. Oh. 1.2.2. Don't tell me why I know that number. Saw someone do it many years ago, and I'm using that number. All right. Still, I'm not getting that gradient I'm looking for. I am assuming that this is the key, because it's just telling me, hey, these are the coordinates of your cube, and I believe the cube is at... Alright, so this is just an assumption from my side. How can I get my grid back? Show grid. Also just going to do... Right, there we go. That's right. So I've just made it easy for myself by having... So this is 0, 2, whatever. I think it's like 10. 8, not 10. How tall are you? You're not on 0. Why are you not 0? Now it's 0. So it's 10. It's 10 units up. 1, 3, 4. I think. Yes. 0 to 10. I want to make it to 0, 1 normalized. That would mean I had to... Wait. Am I making sense right now? Should I even normalize this? Because I do want to normalize it once, like afterwards, I think. Perhaps what I want to do is leave this be like this. This is the basic stuff I have. Like, and this is my radius, so I'm actually going to do that. Not worry about that for now. And we're multiplying. This is my height. Okay. These, of course, are my details. So I do have positions in this spot. So if I do that. Who are you? Hello. Welcome. All right. Think. If I have extracted world positions, but only the Z direction. I have max at the top, min at the bottom. So far, so good. If I divide the max value from all of these, will I get a gradient then? I should be getting a gradient, right? Max divided by max is 1. Min divided by max, which is 0 divided by is 0. However, the problem is, as far as I can tell, I'm not able to access No, I am, right? I do this.
Dangerous path that I follow.
This on on paper, or should I say, if I look at the 2D texture of this. This should be a gradient, right? Right now it's not. What if... No, if I put this into extension. Last time I tried this. What are you doing? There's some kind of... It's a clamped value, it seems like. It's really harsh. I don't like that. Can I make it less harsh? And how? Perhaps... Perhaps... I have... What if I do... this, which is what, 10,000, which is units in meters, or 10,000 equals 10 meters. And if I divide this by that, which is my max height, what would that look like? Yeah, that's not what I'm after. Because I'm already subtracting this part. Wait. Oh. What if we skip this part? Now you're just making fun of me. What's going on? I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Invert. Alright, we're back to this. That's what I want. And from this, I want to do this. Yes, I know. That's why not. Oh, wait. Did that? No, it didn't really. Or maybe it did. The result I should be expecting. Oh. Okay. Yes. Yes and no. Okay. What if we do a clamp? I don't need to listen to this music. Okay. Then
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control. Oh, over your body and over your soul.
Also inverting somewhere out there.
Everything and lose it all.
Invert fog. No, don't invert. What then? Okay. Do I need to pen this to the X and Y? We'll try that. So let's just pen this. Alternatively, another idea, but I'm gonna see what happens. I want to see what happens.
We won't go back home today.
Then I want to move all of you over
Still got few more days to slay.
this.
It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control
All right,
over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back
that's really not what I was after.
lose it all. Lose it all.
Stop preview and
Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head.
let's do a max. This. Where are you? Yeah, no, apply it. I didn't apply it. There we go. Alright, so if I adjust this. Absolutely nothing. Alright, awesome. So this does nothing. Barely. But it's creating something weird. Right. Let's go back to this. And instead, what we're going to do this is the entire this is my fog without the details. Barely anything at all.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me.
Just these. What then?
And they come so easily.
Nothing. Barely anything.
Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget. But you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free. Why do I, baby? Why do I love the way you are? We always leave me. Why do I, baby? Why do I love the touch but never love the feel?
Does this make sense? In my head it doesn't, because I have not changed anything. What's going on? Did I change something? I feel I'm really doing something dumb. Peace. Looks correct, right? That's just the inverted version. Ah, my head. Fog, correct.
Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how
Might not be that bad.
why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I
Might not be that bad.
never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do why do I, baby,
What if
why do I, baby, why do
what if we lerp stuff?
never love the feeling?
I mean, this value is going to push out something between 0 and 1, right? Same with this. But what if we instead of doing that, what if I were to do this? Let's do a lerp. Let's check something. Never remember this. Where it is black, we'll have a, yeah. Then a component mask. Is this not preview? Not previewing correctly. The way I want. What if we do this? Again. The idea behind this is this will create a gradient, I hope. I assume it does. Alternative, I could probably use the absolute position coordinates instead. And I guess it's creating this weird. Is this like clamped somehow? I don't know if clamped is the correct word. What if we do if this is going to be any difference? There is a difference. Actually, have I succeeded? Let's do this. I'm gonna take a screenshot, not a full rectangle from this part to this part. See if we can see a difference. Oh yeah, there's definitely a difference, right? I don't need to take a screenshot. So perhaps what I'm curious about now, if I lower this, what type of difference will that make? And also, what if double this? So go to screenshots. So this is the latest one. It looks so. What is this? Hopefully that is just an error because I can't see it. This would be 0.5. That's the. Yeah, I can't really tell. What if we go with like a seriously low number? I need to learn what this does actually. Why isn't there more information? All right. What does the smooth step do? Smooth gradient transition between two values. Fair enough. It's a mathematical function that commonly used. Yeah. We don't need to look at that. Start value. Oh. Wait. Is that? I'm not sure if that made any difference. Okay, so lower number seems to be better gradient. Do not. Didn't I? Okay, so what if we makes it 200 then? It's just me, or is there no difference at all? Let's do this instead. Capture you. And have you. Let's have you down here. Then a stupid low number. Like ridiculously low. Right? Yeah, that works. So this will be the stupidly low number. Going back and forth. Yeah, I can't tell. I really can't tell. What's the min then? What if we do this? All right. So what we can tell is that it's doing something. Because if I do this, we have this ridiculously sharp, right? And if I do this and this, do that. Is it even removing? Since it's such a big, what if we do like this? Yeah, I can't. Oh. Okay, something happened. But what? I mean, I am liking what I'm seeing, right? There seems to be some digging to the height. It doesn't seem like, well, it is really. All right. How about I'm gonna do something really experimental here. First, let's keep this at 1. How about we try? And that's, yes, it should be that one. Not. Let's go on. I'm not gonna stay here and pull this value all over the place. Alright, so this is what I'm trying to do. I have this value. And I'm extracting the Z. What if we randomize the Z a bit? What if we do that? We could find in all should be a cloud noise, right? There's a regular... There isn't one? Alright, let's try... Noise? Oh, there we go. Low res noise. I just want something. And let's try... I do like... with this one. And instead of the RGB, let's just grab this. Don't need to do that. Okay. So what we're trying to do is trying to push these around a bit, and we can do that by adding this value. I think this is going to be ridiculous. Absolutely insane. Nothing. That could be potentially, possibly, because we need you not only to have UVs, but you also need to multiply it a few times. So let's just do 5. What does that mean? Or instead of multiplying with the 5, multiply with 0.125. Right, because this is what should happen. If there's a value, let's say 1, no, 500, then that I should add this, but this is just 1. That could be a reason. What if we do a multiply? I can do this. So all the ones in this one, let's make those 200. Okay, so oh wait, nothing. All right. Let's try. Try this, and this. Oh, yeah, that is more of what I'm aiming for. Though no, at the same time, it's not. And wait. No, this is not normalized. This is fine. This, on the other hand. Alright, but it's flipped the other way. It's flipped. We'll probably just do 1 minus. I'm gonna do this instead. Yeah, that way. Start previewing. It's hard to tell, but it is flipped, and let's do a saturate. Start previewing. Can't tell. Let's do that. Still not going exactly the way I want. Is it? It's more like it's completely gone now. Okay, so let's compare. What if I don't do the lerp? Just have you go this way. Then I want to... Where are you? There you are. So let's start in this direction, right from here. Yeah. Something's definitely not correct. And I need you all to game. Let's try this. How about, okay, we're gonna try something. We are disconnecting you and you. Compile. Now we're looking at the material. That looks like crap. Big reason for that is why. I have gone overboard for this. Okay. Is there a gradient? Can't tell. Really can't tell. Do hope there's some entertainment involved in this. So I'm not just throwing around stuff no one's interested in watching. Let's do this. Let's just make you one. Fly. Play. Okay, you guys are back. Hide. Play. There you are. Yep, so the gradient. It's not doing what I want. What if I do this? Is that gonna make any difference? I did something. Where are you going? You are there. Hidden. Spotlight. There's no difference, is there? Hello? Oh, right. Now I'm really all over the place. Let's do that. And that. Alright, so if I do this, I now have a super sharp. It's not easier to tell. Yes, so now it's sharp as hell. And start repeating you. Nothing. Okay, there's a gradient. So if I do 100, and I also want to start preview view, flip it around, and I get this. That's closer. If I increase this, then that will move upwards. That's not particularly what I'm after. I want... Okay, let's do this first. Saturate you, then do subtract. What then? Still like that. Alright. So... we're going to do this. So this should be 1 now. And instead of subtracting this from 1, I'm going to flip this around. Yes. But afterwards, you can do this. That's exactly the same as I did before. Okay. What does that tell me? Don't need you anymore. This tells me that the gradient will be very subtle up here. And also I assume this part will not be particularly good. Where am I? You're right there. Let's do a max height of 10,000. It's very subtle. There is a slight gradient. So what I'm trying to figure out now is how to move this downwards. The multiplication. I think it is. But that tightens it. Alright, that's not what I want. Is it another subtract then? The problem with that is that it's going to also take away from this part. It's a divide, is it? No. And it's not an add. Add, oh, these will also be up, go up. The multiply. Could potentially do something this section. Because if I add to this, then I should see it change. Alright, sorry, I need to do it to this. So we do 1. Yes, that's moving it around. Alright, so that could adjust the height. If I go back to this part, then the gradient has moved. Okay. It does make sense that I have a max height. right? It doesn't make sense because if I add this and it goes down, then that is subtracted from max height. So instead, because if I do a subtract instead, let's do this and this. I need you because you're supposed to be connected to this one. Actually, let's remove those. If I do this instead and increase this, then yeah, exactly. I mean, I could call the oh, sorry. I mean, I could call the parameter something like max height, add to height, or something like that, right? So if I call this add to height, I can also do subtract from height. So if I do this, it then subtracts from height. That kind of makes sense. So we could do a offset height gradient. And I think this could make more sense. Because it would be natural if we say, hey, I want it to be higher up. Right, then I would add 200. But no, I want it to be lower down from what it is. I subtract 200. That makes sense to me. The thing is, I have not tested it, tried this out in real life, so. And my fog is gone. It's not there anymore. Why is that? Why is that? I need to it's somewhere. Right, so that is working. So, should I be focused on this section instead? I mean, what have I done? I've just created a, apart from this section, where I'm trying to do this, which could be interesting. Perhaps. Preview. Perhaps we should try this over here instead. So, like that. And that. You're going insane. Why?
Told you to walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue
Am I pushing it too hard? Power. Multiply. Okay, there's something happening. I'm adding. Perhaps that's a problem. Yeah. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's something really because I'm using all the values. Yeah. All right. This is getting me more or less nowhere. That tells me I need to step away a bit. Let's see. Power. What was it? Macro noise power 7.25. Intermediate 3.75. We'll look at some animation. I don't have much left of the day. Perhaps just do some quick tests so we can get it to work. Define power at 7.25. And I'm going to dock you. And we're actually going to back that, and then get in here. Yeah, that's not what I want to see. You're 800. Yeah, but these types of math things are not my strong suit. We'll figure something out, one way or another. It does seem like the details of these are way too strong. So let's make them quite more subtle. Railing. Oh, that's macro. I don't want to change that. I want to change this fine details. Let's do 2.5. I also think they're way too small. Is it just me or it's really no difference? What? Dynamic. Is there a chance that... Correct, right? Noise tiling. Okay, we're gonna try something. You're gonna be 0, but you're gonna be insane. Let's do 50. There's 50 on this. More or less removes everything. So if I do that, nothing. Oh shit. That means my assumption is then that these may not be picked up. Could that be the case? Macro. Connected. Power. Let's do that. I'm going to disconnect you. Fine. Apply. And alright. So I can't use space. Which I guess making sense, right? Is it? This is so much finer in detail. Get that. Right. Right. Why is it so different? Oh, do I have 2 play starts? I do. Be gone. Perhaps it's working now. Perhaps. Likely not. We are going for a Alright, something's not correct. Change at all. Okay, could it be? Is it then? I highly doubt this is the case, right? Why would it? Or am I missing something? Valid. How about then we do this? Yeah, so it is printing the log. Oh. Let's I'm using a scalar. Wait. This section? Is it? Wait, set. No. All right. Oh. No, because I haven't. No, exactly. There's no difference. Let's check. We are doing these things, that, and it's going inside. We're dividing. It's fair. Macro power, all of these things. Okay. Correct. Highly doubt this is the problem. What if it's... No, it can't be the problem, right? that way. That's no difference. I am creating the material instance from the cube. Checking for actor, that's fair enough. Once it's done that, it creates an instance, and I've checked, it is printing, so the instance is created. It does exist. And then you have this. What? What am I missing? Am I missing? Oh, okay, this automatically does that. And these values are whatever they are. So this is what I expect to see. What I'm getting is something completely different. There's something happened down here. I disconnect you and not getting errors. Yeah, okay. It is not updating the way I expect it to do. It's not going to be any difference.
Yeah. Unknown brain. Marvin Divine.
Yeah. That's fine.
All the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private.
What's happening? What's happening?
All the rumors you be claiming it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games. Yeah, I know that I found some
This
to love me one day.
section,
You'll realize
it's not happening.
the grass ain't greener on the other
I'm pretty sure everything was working
side. So now
like this morning.
goodbye.
Holy.
So now I gotta say goodbye.
I've done something really. I'll be that way. Not even connected, so I guess it does make sense.
Yeah, my life is lovely now. I'm focused on me.
Right.
You said you were about to die. I guess the car is
It's all connected.
I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you frowning, see you looking down and out. Coming to me crying, saying you miss having me around. Gave you chances and you blew it. You so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music. I'm saying.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games. Yeah, I know that I found somebody
Right.
else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side.
That is the one I'm working with. What if we try this then? What if we just add a value? Let's do this. This is not what I want to do. If it's not really doing anything. And let's just do this. Print string. Print that thing. See what happens. Yeah. 3,000. Which is the value I set it as. Also set that's 3,000. Yes, it is. Okay, let's just see if this works.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out.
Right. What am I missing?
You got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. How long do I got to keep you, to keep you?
Okay. That's progress. Wait. Are these? Because they're not connected. Right. Oh. Okay. Wait. Wait. Is it really that dumb? It usually is. Okay, I've stayed silent for quite some time now. I need to pick this up. Alright, so I think what happened is that these are still multiplying on top of the texture. Therefore, when I looked at it in here, you can see it happens. So, we're going to do something about that, I think. And it says right here, and I've set these to the regular ones. What if? What if we do this instead? Instead of doing it like this, we're going to do it this way. Like so. That gives me something like this. And we're going to add switch static switch parameter, and we're going to call it enable what do you call it? Intermediate. Bad name. Let's call it second noise texture. Do that. You're complaining because missing B output. Alright. No, what we need is a static switch. It's the same thing, actually. If it's false, you need to go this way. No. Really not thinking straight. I need to do this. That needs to go into this. So if this is false, just use this into this. No, into. And this is really overcomplicating things. Yes. If it's true, do this. If it's false, keep to this. And we need to go that in. You need to go in. Nope. We've likely done some really complicated stuff right here.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We
Okay.
got this far,
But things are happening.
I see danger in us.
So we're going with.
Burn down the night, coming
Let's see.
just like the sunrise. You know
Yeah.
we gonna
So max noise should be 3000. We're going to enable these, turn them off, both. Then we're going to enable the second one, which means I now have access to nothing. That's because I assume this one needs to be active. Yep, I was overcomplicating this thing. You go. You go. Go. Do that. Why?
just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a
Do
sound,
that.
can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt.
And
No, we can't turn back now. I see danger
let's do 10
in us. They know we'll burn
off.
down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
Okay. Turn it off by just doing that. It's good to know. So, if you can't tell, and you probably can't because it's on the other monitor, is that I've been adjusting these values to just dial it in like that. And you can tell if I adjust this, we have some finer details going on, and I kind of like it that. So now that we know this works, if I do this, I get not the same results. Therefore, I need to go into this section, and I'll see that the noise tiling 3000, power 100, no, sorry, 10, can't read, 16, 20 by 5 by 1000 by 6, and height, where are you? There you go. Let's keep the 500. All right. Hopefully this is the last. This might be the last thing I do today, and it's not even close. Now it could be these things. All right, all right, right. Now it could be these things, which would be normal in programming, I guess. Go. Therefore, I also need to go into these. I hope this what makes it work. Chances are no. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just not what I want or expect. That's the issue. It does look decent. What it doesn't is work where I expect. Which is annoying. Oh, those are macros. Yo, another mistake. Fun stuff. It happens way too often that in the last minute I do fix whatever ails my problem. All right, we're getting it. We're getting it. Okay, so last thing is to connect this again. Go compile. And I'm gonna do that. And now I do a large screen. You cannot tell that the fog is dissipating. Now it's close. Now it's gone. And we can also do a quick test by bring you back, spotlight, let's just increase it to 80. At a con angle, I'm just gonna make you a big mess. And also, just for the sake of it, well, that's just what insane. That's insane.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming.
So,
You were sitting, you were wishing I was
so
now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing.
need to increase.
Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water,
Add you
so
all
I'm going
back.
mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream.
Maybe not.
Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream.
Make sure you're part of the game.
Flow like water, so I'm going
Four.
mainstream.
There we go. I like the, yeah.
Going mainstream.
I think we got it. I think we actually managed to get it.
Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
Let's do 150, just for the sake of it. Just so we want to see what it looks like. Is that really 150? Right, now isn't Is it working? Oh no, it doesn't because it's not connected. Oh. Yes, it needs to be above me. Which would be, let's do 2.5. Yeah. Almost. Almost. Alright. I'm gonna accept this. Certainly no more touching of various settings. We are as happy as I can get. Yes, apply. Gonna turn you off. Yeah. Just a quick save. We're gonna go to this window. Like this. All right. It's so thank for the patience. Watching me struggle a bit. Hey, we did get it. We managed to find what it was, and well, it is way too tired to. I mean, it's in the naming stuff. There was some naming stuff, right? Especially the last part. I did have the same name for the fine details and macro details. We're both going for macro stuff, which makes sense that it didn't work. Adjusting material, master material to have multiplied textures before they then removed multiply with the fog. I think that could make sense. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is doing something different, or it's even more. It's better. I don't know, but it looks better for me, so I'll accept that. The fog is on its way. I don't think we do great. I don't think we did. We went back to the old thing, and I'm gonna accept that. I could spend a long time trying to fix this, but I need to focus on other stuff, which I would say is more important. So with this, we can now add a done to add the fine detail texture. All right, and I think well, it's either going to be we're going to animate a panning effect to the fog, which would be cool. Alternatively, we would look at the repellent effect. I'm not sure if that was coming through while I was playtesting. And I've explained this before, but it's probably better to do it again. In my material, I have a vector that follows the player. Well, the following happens later on in blueprints. Start at 0 in the world, and then moves, copies the player's coordinates. This is then working with the absolute position, similar to how we're working with the details and the fog. And I'm then calculating a radius around the player, up, above, to the side, and everything like that, with a length node, I believe. We're going to go through this another day, so I believe it's length node. So I'm calculating the distance from the player to a certain point. So I have a radius around the player, sphere, an invisible sphere. That shape is then subtracted from the fog, which is more similar to what we've already done with the detail stuff, and what I tried to do with the gradient. And I think that we could potentially do some animation on that radius. So once it's activated, It's not going to be super obvious. I want it to be subtle. And we could lerp over time, over a certain number of frames, the radius. So if we start at a really close distance, let's say 2 meters or 200 units from the player, and then expand quite rapidly the sphere or the radius to what we are using now, which I believe is 1200, which we might dial down to 800 or something like that. And that's that. I think that could work, and I think that could be add a certain flair to the entire mechanic. We'll see. Oh right, do this. This is also going to be one part of this, I think. Do the, which is to create custom noise patterns. Let's create custom volume textures. I'm going to do that in Substance Liner. So I need to look up how to do that. So we're not going to do that tomorrow. I do think we're going to focus on the add animation stuff. I think that could be quite a quick one. So we might be able to do both tomorrow. But we're going to focus on the animation of the fog. Just have it move around a bit. Perhaps it could be fun if they moved differently, the finer details, or probably not. Now my question is it just a simple question of panning the UVs of the detail textures? I think it is. I think it could be just a matter of adding a panning effect to those. Maybe move them slightly different speeds. Perhaps even add some other type of noise to give it a bit randomness. I don't want it to be, let's say we have a universal speed across the entire texture. All detail textures move the same at the same speed. What if we add a noise texture to that panning? Would that mean that as you move around, you would enter parts of the fog where the movement is slightly slower? Then you have, probably not. We're gonna try it, because if it's a matter of multiplying a time value or adding to a time value, you can always adjust that additional value to the time. If this doesn't make sense, the explanation, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm talking about. I'm just speculating, throwing things out there. But yeah, I feel more confident in this new updated version of the project. For you who weren't here, which is a lot of people, at the beginning of this, I've been working on this for like 2-3 months. Seriously, for a longer time than that, but like properly trying to make this work, it's been like 2-3 months. And I am happy with the progress, or I was, until a few days ago, maybe even a week ago, when I realized that the direction I was going in with the mechanics of having a eye follow you around, depending on if you're detected by these other entities in the world, it wasn't fun. There was nothing about it that I at that time saw as this is interesting, this is fun. I think the concept has potential. There's just a matter of me at this stage in my development, or in my process, and my experiences are not they're not expansive enough to make it work. So we had to take a few steps back, and now what I'm going for is it's a lot more similar to Amnesia. gonna have a sanity meter. We're gonna have, well, we did have it before, but we're gonna focus on the sanity meter. We're gonna focus on having some type of resource management. I did take a note. See if I can find that. I took a note the other day, which I felt was quite interesting. Oh, it's actually in my notes. There you go. So it's down here. I think the idea of adding something called willpower, which you as the player may not be aware of, we'll see what happens. But in the background, we can have something called willpower that if you have a low amount of it, you'll not be able to fight the sanity that's around you. Then again, it could just be if you have a high low sanity rate, you just get more insane, which I don't, perhaps there's no point in having a willpower fight that, or you can increase your willpower temporarily with something, with a consumable, maybe an object could help you, which could like fight off the insanity effects, or it could be what we call the healing consumable. It's something that affects your willpower. Maybe Anisha does that. They do have something that makes you sane again. I don't think they're calling it straight out willpower. I don't remember if it's the Aqua Vita, if that's the sanity, is it? Should be a sanity. All right, and either way, we're going to look at it. I'm happy with what we're doing on this channel right now, and I hope to be able to continue that. I do also, at some point, I need to do a bit more on behind the scenes. I do want to play Anisha on this channel, play live and kind of break down, not like seriously, like super serious breakdown of the game. More, we're gonna have some fun with it, but also add some level design thinking to it, since we're actually making a game here. So we do want to focus on that, but it's not going to be super serious. We're going to have some fun with it. And I think that will be all for today. I do need to prepare. I do have an actual paying job on the side. For now, we'll see what happens. Wherever this takes me. But I'll be signing off, and I'll be back tomorrow at the same time. We're going to go for 6 a.m. my time, which is Central Eastern Standard Time, Central European Standard Time. And I hope we can make some more progress. We will make progress, and it's going to be fun. We're going to look at the animation of the fog tomorrow. All right, enough rambling, yapping. I will see whoever I'll see tomorrow, and I wish you all a good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Have fun. Bye.